Hello beautiful scrappy friends, it's Belinda and I'm here today to share my first ever traveller's notebook process with you. I'm just showing you I've done a little bit of prep work before I started filming, just to add stitched border around each of my white pages that will get adhered into my traveller's notebook. I have only recently this year started really working in this format, and I've found that just through trying a few different approaches, having my pages, working on my pages outside of the notebook and then adhering them in is the process that works best for me. So that is what I am doing. I'm using a collection from Uniquely Creative. It was a summer themed collection. I was using this just because I had it out on my desk having completed a 12 by 12 layout using the collection. So I thought I might as well just pick it up and use it for this little traveller's notebook spread. I did print my journaling out already. I typed that up on my computer and then printed it out onto some plain white cardstock, trimmed it down into a square, and then to embellish that I used a notebook border punch just to add a decorative notebook edge to it. And then I have some printed floral vellum from this Uniquely Creative collection to go behind that, just to add a little bit of softness behind the journaling and to help it to stand out against the white background. So I'm adding a few little strips of pattern paper or a couple of little strips of pattern paper to the bottom of each page. I've got just a plain pink patterned paper and then that little floral. And then what I'm showing you now is that I have added some stitching around the outside of that journaling piece. And I've also added some messy zigzag stitching to the bottom strips of patterned paper. This is just documenting a photo from a little weekend staycation that I was lucky enough to be gifted by my husband for my birthday earlier this year. You can see over on the right hand side of the screen I have done some stamping off camera. So I stamped out the words good vibes and awesome, which I think were from a Citrus Twist stamp set, and I've fussy cut those out. I've also stamped a butterfly and a little floral in a yellow ink. That was from the same Citrus Twist stamp set, and I've fussy cut those out. I've also stamped the phrase good day. I can't remember what stamp set that's from, but if anyone wants to know, or if you want to know where anything is from, please just let me know and I will go digging through my stash and I can let you know. So that good day piece I have stamped onto a piece of white cardstock and just cut it out as well. Now I'm sorry I'm off camera for a little bit of this here. My filming setup has changed just a little bit and it's taking me some time to get used to having to work a little bit further away from my body than I used to do. What I was doing off camera though is setting up that little tab there which has got the date on it. I'm pretty sure the date stamp that I used is one from... Actually, I can't remember where that's from. I'm going to have a look for that too. And I matted it onto a piece of patterned paper and then I used my corner rounder to kind of turn it into a bit of a tag and then just adhered that to the side of the photo. So I planned on doing some stamping straight onto the page, and you will see me doing that in this process video here. But once I finished, I was looking at it and I just wasn't happy with where the stamps were actually sitting. They weren't exactly where I wanted them to be, and they weren't all entirely straight. So again, that's just me getting used to this different filming setup and trying to get used to stamping without being able to look straight over the top of my project, which is a little bit tricky if you have ever tried to do that. So what I did off camera, and you will see in the close-up videos that come at the end, is I re-stamped a lot of those phrases onto some plain white cardstock, trimmed them out, and then just adhered them down over the top. And I actually like the look of it better. Again, you'll see that in the photos at the end. It just adds another little bit of dimension to the spread and adds a little bit of extra texture that wasn't there beforehand. So I do continue stamping, and you'll see me stamping straight onto the page. I don't replace all of them, but I do replace some of the phrases. So what I really loved about this Citrus Twist stamp set is that it came with these really cute sort of like sunburst rays that weren't a complete circle. And I had the idea, it's probably what the stamp set was designed for, but I thought that I would use those sunburst rays to frame the bold titles. So I got a rough idea of where I wanted that good vibes piece to go, and then I stamped using that same yellow that I've stamped those little embellishment pieces in, and then adhered the good vibes down with just some really low profile foam dots. And then I'm going to repeat the same effect down here on the bottom, except that the sunburst stamp that I'm using here is slightly different. It doesn't have that hollowed inside. So I'm actually going to layer it up so that it sits just behind the awesome stamped die cut piece that I've made there. So it'll be sort of peeking out from the top of it rather than framing it along the side. So again, some low profile foam dots behind that awesome piece there, and then I can adhere that down. So now I'm ready to adhere my journaling down. I'm just using my T-square ruler there to make sure that I've got it nice and straight and that it's pretty centered. I'm definitely finding that this is the style or the aesthetic that I prefer for my traveler's notebook spreads. Quite clean, quite linear, and it's just something that I find really appealing in this format. So here's where I'm going to do some stamping onto the back of the page. I've got one phrase that says just breathe, and then I think I come in with another couple of, I'm not sure, maybe I do another 1 or 2 phrases, and then the good day is going to sit at the top and the little butterfly above that. And I do take it back over to my sewing machine and just add some stitched texture through some of those stamped pieces that have been adhered down. There's me trying to get over the top, and as you can see, it's a little bit wonky. But once I've done that, that will be it. There are some close-up photos coming at the end, as I have mentioned. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video, my first traveler's notebook process. It is nice and short. If you have enjoyed it, I would love for you to go ahead and leave me a comment or give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and join me on my paper crafting adventures. I will leave it there for now and say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.